Hi there, this is Thomas Ellenberg coming to you from San Francisco, California on the day after Christmas 2009. And I would like to acknowledge this wonderful video, The Mind as Magic as the Movies, because it brings up a lot of truth that we really need to consider, those of us who want to create our own reality based on our own dreams and based on our own desires. As you probably know, I'm a avid fan and student and friend of the Abraham Hicks teachings. I've also studied Course in Miracles and most of the other major metaphysical teachings in the world today. And I'm beginning to realize that they're all saying the same thing. Here we have this third eye, this Christ vision, this God vision, this frontal lobe, that what the Bleep talks about, in which we must envision our dreams and our desires with love and appreciation and with belief and with faith. If we do create a mental movie of our dream or our desire manifesting in simultaneous time, not in some future time, but in a simultaneous reality, the frontal lobe captures it, creates a hologram, and begins to attract in a vortex of attractive energy that Abraham calls the vortex, every cooperative component necessary for the dream that we imagine imagine this as the projector. Say you're an IMAX, this is IMAX, this is the projector, the third eye within the frontal lobe, in which you project the movie of your choice. What's so important right now for us to remember as we go into this new decade, this brand new, fresh decade, is that all of the things that happened in the last decade, whether you would consider them good or bad, were envisioned on some level by someone before they became part of the world movie, part of the cultural movie. I personally have deplugged myself from television. I only watch a little bit of it at the health club when I'm working out, because it takes effort to create a really happy vision in your mind in a world that supports fear and worry and panic and lack and limitation and not enoughness. I mean, it really does. I mean, it takes commitment. And in a recent CD video by Abraham Hicks, one of their workshop participants asked them, he said, I want to feel good and I want to go for my dreams, but your processes seem to take effort and the effort doesn't feel good. So that seems like a paradox. You're saying feel good to manifest your happiest dreams, but it doesn't feel good for me to do the processes because they seem like efforting. And Abraham really broke some new ground in this talk, because Abraham said, yes, we want you to have a happy vibration. We want you to see and visualize the movie of your dream with love and joy and enjoyment. And we know that since you are being bombarded on all sides by the advertising campaigns of the newspapers and the movies and the radios and the CDs, and just we're bombarded with other people's visions with their movies, and they're asking us to be extras in their movies. So don't you want to be a star in your own movie? Yeah, we all deserve to be stars of our own movie. I myself have put many of my ideas in 2 books, which I am now going to be promoting more enthusiastically and openly and forwardly in this new decade. The first book is called Uncle Tom's Classroom: How One Public School Teacher Awakened His Students to the Cosmic Super Self Within. And it is my story of how I brought metaphysical truth into the totally militaristic, capitalistic mindset that is being taught as public education. It's actually better said, that movie called Public Education is more, I would say, better described as the matrix of brainwashing, in which the military-industrial complex and the governing manipulators are actually using public education to turn children into Uncle Toms. First, they turn the administrators into Uncle Toms, then they turn the teachers into fearful Uncle Toms, and then they turn the entire classroom into slaves to serve the system. No free thinking is allowed, no cutting edge thought is allowed, and very, very little envisioning of fresh, brand new movies beyond the old paradigm presented as the only movie in town, which is what the military-industrial complex presents as the only movie in town. So this is available through my website, UncleTomsClassroom.com, and it's also available through Barnes & Noble and Borders.com. And I published this a few years ago, did a wonderful interview on ShirleyMacLaine.com on her Independent Expression radio station at her website. She is a big fan of my ideas that we need to help children create their own movies of the mind, star in their own movies of the mind, and make them happy movies. Make their movies of the mind happy, not mere reflections of a society that's having a nervous breakdown and a temper tantrum, and well, you name it, the society's doing that movie. This book led me to my next collaboration and my next book, which is with a world-renowned psychic named Bob Hickman. And together we produced this book called When Worlds Unite. Bob Hickman is the channeler, and I am the transcriber, the editor, and I am also the conversationalist who talks with the 4 spirit entities that come through Mr. Hickman. The 4 entities are Fletcher, a wonderful Canadian, French-Canadian, who died, passed over in World War I, and is my #1 spirit guide. His student, Rose, who passed over in World War II during the Blitz. She was a noble woman, a socialite, and she is now training to be a spirit guide. There is Orion, a non-physical entity, who is in the level of the Elohim. And then Edgar Cayce, who you may have already heard of, the great spiritual healer of the early 20th century. And this book is really fascinating because it talks about, in chapter 13, that President Obama actually has a very good heart and came into his career really truly wanting to help uplift the human race in his own movie that he was envisioning. But that now that he's in the White House, the manipulators, they call them the manipulators, quote unquote, are influencing him. And we need to really pray for him that he holds on to his movie of what he originally envisioned as a better American movie and a better life for all of us who are sharing this movie called America. And on a larger scale, this movie called The Western World, and on an even larger scale, the movie called Humankind on Planet Earth. Anyway, so these are 2 of my books, and I would like to let you know that they're available. And I am also available at bergland@sonic.net for talking and counseling, and hope to talk to you really, really soon. As we go into this new year, remember that we are making mental movies all the time. And if we can love those movies and enjoy those movies and believe in those movies with the faith of a mustard seed, those movies will manifest. God bless you all, and Happy New Year.